You are listening to Just a Touch of Jade's vocals, baby. Yes, listen, and God just dropped a dime on me. Yes, baby, God just dropped a dime on me. Lord, what's up, yo? Oh my God. It been a minute since I had, talk to my babies. What y'all out there doing, huh? Y'all out there putting it out there in pieces? Yes, I know you are, because you putting it out there in pieces for me. Listen, I'm starting off just with this. Yo, shout out to y'all. Yeah, for the millions. What y'all out there doing? Listen, look, okay, let me just tell you this. Okay, first of all, it was at 80,000. Okay. Just people and stuff. It was a whole year ago. Yeah, I'm putting it out there pieces for y'all now and stuff. And I'm like this, and then I just a whole million. It's more than a million. I keep saying a million because it was a million a minute ago when I was putting it out there in pieces for some of y'all in different places. But now it's over millions. And I'm just like this. Y'all out here wilding out. God is telling me. He said, go ahead, read them the places. Girl, prompting. Yes, man, he is prompting me. Yeah, he said, go ahead, read them the places, Ronica. I said, all right, God, here we go. Look, I'm gonna start off with my country. Cause I'm always giving somebody a shout out. Yeah. God be like this, you gonna say anything about the United States. So the United States, y'all at the top though, okay? Shout out to y'all. Look, so it's the United States, United Kingdom, South Africa. Yo, United Kingdom. Y'all really out here listening to me. France, Nigeria. Yes, what y'all out there doing? The Netherlands. Australia. Yeah, I've been seeing Australia. Canada, Mexico, Poland. Yeah. What's up, y'all? Y'all out there, put me out there in pieces. Yes. Oh my gosh. So many places. Just let me go ahead and give a shout out to some of these. Colorado, right? Georgia, New York, California, Iowa, Texas, Florida, New Jersey. What's up? Missouri, Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, Virginia, Alabama, Indiana. Yes, baby. Maryland, all right. North Carolina, Oklahoma, Rhode Island, Washington, Connecticut. Yes, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oregon, Philly, Pennsylvania. Yes, Tennessee, Wisconsin. What y'all out there doing too? That's all the places that listen to me, in the United States. Shout out to y'all. Oh my gosh, y'all is just so thorough and wise. Look, I gotta go back because it's more. It's more. It's so many more. It's so much more. Okay, I did that. Singapore. Okay, Indonesia, Ghana, Estonia, Switzerland, Bahamas, Jamaica. Oh my God, Ghana, right? Kenya, Mozambique. Okay, Budapest, y'all. Michael Jackson was rocking over there in Budapest. Y'all know I love Michael Jackson. Y'all like Mike too. Shout out to y'all. Love you. Oh my gosh, what did I say? New Zealand, Philippines, Thailand. Yes, it's so many y'all. I'm so sorry if I missed somebody. Hold on, let me see. But anyway, look, I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening to the Just a Touch of J podcast. And the vocals, y'all got the vocals going crazy. Y'all like the episode, I should call it boyfriend number 10. Matter of fact, that's what I'm going to call it. Y'all like that one. Yeah, y'all like what? Y'all so crazy. Child, we about to talk about them though. These boyfriends been out here just doing so much. So much has been going on. Look, guess where I'm at? I'm at the house. Yeah, y'all. I am at the house with 180 scriptures on the wall. Yes, baby. And I started dropping it down on me. Because, look, it started when I was in the bathroom. I'm telling you, it did. The other day, I was just in there just chilling and stuff. Yeah, I always look at myself. God said, tell you this. I tell myself how amazing I am. I tell myself, damn, Ronica, you look good. You look sexy. You looking real good, girl. You looking real fine. Yeah, I got it in there like, how God had me set it up. So I say that to myself in the mirror every day or a couple times a day. You got to give love to yourself, especially when you fine and you thorough and you wise. I mean, look, listen, I used to tell boyfriend number 10, look, you got to love yourself. Yeah, you got to love yourself. And he used to be like this. I swear, what you doing? He be like, out here loving myself. Yeah, baby. I used to tell him, you got to love yourself. Yeah, so anyway, I be loving on myself. Yes, I do. So anyway, look. So I was doing that and everything, right? And then, I was like this. Today, I was standing there. I was out, right? Look, I was out. I was chilling. I went out for my walk. I like walking out on the property. So I went out there and everything, and I was over there chilling. And I came in, look, right? And when I came in, I had on my tights. I got just a touch of G's, clothing and everything. So I had the tights on, but I got these socks too, y'all. I told you they like knee socks, they thigh socks, but I had on the ones that was kind of like over the knee, like middle. Yeah, so when I was trying to take off the tights, the sock head got caught in it. You know how you try to do it real quick. I try to do it real quick instead of just doing it right. Just trying to hurry up. Just because I don't like being in clothes when I get in the house. I like to take my clothes off. Yeah, I told y'all, wait till y'all get the whole intimate apparel thing. It's going to turn y'all out. Because I already been telling y'all about the crotchless panties. I mean, look. Okay, y'all like that type of stuff. You know you do. And Valentine's Day is coming up. So God said you got to go over here and talk to him real quick. So I'm over there and I'm pulling my stuff out, right? I'm pulling them all, pulling everything out, so I can get all straight, And I got a little caught in there and I took them off and I'm just like, as I was taking off, I felt like my muscle in my legs. I'm telling you, I can't make this up. So when I stand up, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I'm looking at my legs. And I'm like, girl, you sure is looking real thorough and wise. Yeah, I said, girl, you over here looking good, right? So I'm just looking at myself, right, with my just a touch of Jay's undies on, right? And then God was like, pull up your shirt some, right? And I pulled up my shirt and I was like, oh my God, I got the V. Because God be showing me my body, y'all. And I was like, oh my God, I got the V. And I'm just like, I know it came from me doing them hanging push-ups. Like I be doing these like hanging things, like with my legs and stuff. I call them my hanging push-ups. Yeah. I told y'all I got the Just a Touch of J's MTPs, my version of the Mike Tyson push-ups. So I be doing like 100 a day and all this, and I be doing these hanging things. I'm like, I think it was that. God, like, no, it's the V's too. It's the V's. That's why it's a V. I got these ones that I call the V's. Yes, baby, they call the V's. They so thorough and wise. I be doing them on the floor. But look, so I'm looking right now. Look, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I am. I'm looking at myself right now. I'm just like, dang. Like, cause I got the whole V and I was just looking. And then I saw my chest and God was like, you remember when I told you how your chest was going to come back? And I looked at my arm and then I was looking at these booty butt cheeks. Yeah, were your butt cheeks like Thugnificent on Boondocks? Yeah, I was looking at them. Yeah, and I was thinking about that intimate apparel. And all type of stuff like the J's Fit. Yo, it's so much to J's Fit. Shout out to y'all supporting me in the other countries. Oh my God, I love you. Yes, they love it. Yes, they just, oh man. And my team, like, yo, thank you for everything that you do for me. Word, because, child, it's just so much. But anyway, look. So, looking at it and I was like, dang, girl, you really are looking good. And I was thinking about that little outfit I had on. Yeah, shout out to you, boyfriend number 10. What's your fine self? I was thinking about that outfit that I had on. Yeah, child, I had like this little thing, like, y'all know I don't really be doing that whole, let me show you my whole body and all that. I don't even really be putting face pics out there because, I don't do it for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do it for you to like it. I do it for you so that you can see how thorough wise God is. Yeah, like, just so you can see it. Like, look how God out here blessing. Yeah, trust him. Like, yo, God is real good. He really will take care of you. Just do his thing. Yeah, that's why I put it out there. Let y'all know y'all can really trust him and he real and stuff. Yeah, I don't do it for nothing else. So, I don't really be putting stuff out there, but I was putting it out there. And boyfriend number 10, I put it out there in peace just like slightly. Yeah, to that Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, child. That Megan Thee Stallion spin. Yeah, child, put it out there today. He was liking it and stuff when he was doing the likes. Yeah, shout to you too, baby. Yes. I see you up in the stories. Yeah, thank you. Because, look, I'll be going over there real quick, and then I skate on out. Because, look, I don't be playing with TikTok. Yeah. Over there on TikTok. Yo, I'll be playing over there. I skate on over there, and then I skate on out. I can't do that. Yeah, over there on TikTok, because, that's where they be over there doing that ticking and that talking there. Yeah, and I can't get caught up in that. Baby, no, I can't. Because then I be over there doing it like them, and that's too much of that. Too much repetitive ticking and the talking like the clock back and forth. And shout out to TikTok if you listening. But I just can't be over there doing that. No. I'm original, Dundada. Yeah, an original. Yeah. I don't do that other stuff. And if I see somebody else, I have to say it. I can't. I told God, I said, I'm going to have to say it. I usually say stuff like this on a podcast, but I have to. Look, listen. What? Yo, if I see somebody else with that mic in their hand, that little mic, it's gonna be a problem. Like I feel like it. I felt my help coming the other day. I got so upset about it. Oh, here we go, my alarm. See, I told you I got schedules and things. Yeah, child, I got schedules and stuff and meetings and everything. So look, let me hurry up so I can tell y'all. Oh my gosh. So listen, this is what's going on, right? Over there on TikTok. That's what they be doing, that ticking and that talking it. And I can't, be over there and get caught up and stuff like that. Yeah, I got to keep my pieces straight. So I was over there, whatever, and I'm over there dropping it and real quick, boom, skate on back over to the left. And as I was skating out, I seen boyfriend number 10, he popped up. And I was just like, because, he be over there looking fine and everything. And I'm like, damn. God was like, Ronica, you straight? Yo, I can't make this up. I was like, yeah. He's like, come on. Right? He was like, look, he always tell me, people views your page. You got some new friends and stuff too. Shout to y'all. All the guys, I think it was like 12 of y'all or something that just followed me. Hey, how you doing? Hey, thanks for the follows and the love. Few females too. Yeah, so thank you. On the TikTok thing. But I don't really be over there like that, y'all. Because I just can't do that ticking and that talking. That's what they do, that ticking and that talking there. Yeah, and I can't get caught up in that. But anyway, like, I was skating, I seen him, and I started thinking about that, and then my body, and I was just thinking about how he had, like, the booty butt cheek thing, and I was like, yo, God, like, yo, you really got my body banging. That's what I was saying. I was like, oh my gosh. So then I was looking at the chest, because I told you he was talking to me about my chest and stuff. He said, yeah, tell him how you realize it now. So look, guy had said a long time ago, because he told me I was going to get ill. He told me to tell my daughter before it even happened, like anything, in the order that it was going to happen. Yes, he told me, and I didn't know, it was going to go like that for real. But it happened, right? I'm a believer. For those of y'all who be talking to God, y'all like, yo, he be talking to me like that too. Because you got a relationship with him and stuff. He be dropping dimes on you, talking to you about yourself and everything. But look, so I'm like this, like, dang, God. You sure is still and wise. That's what I was thinking. I said, you really be over here telling me stuff, like, showing me things. And I was saying, he was like, you straight? And I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, come on, And I was talking to me. And he was like, yeah, what's going on now? Valentine's Day getting ready to pop up. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I said, what that mean? He's like, people out here, they trying to get their body straight or whatever. But you seeing, you looking at your chest. You know what you used to be doing around Valentine's Day, right? That's what God told me. I was like, yeah. He's like, no, don't forget to tell him. By how your chest, I told you your chest was going to come big. And that's when you was going to realize it. Realize everything. God had told me this, y'all, because he always telling me something, okay? Something right here. And he was like, Ronica, that's when you're going to realize everything that I told you was the truth. You're going to realize you healed. You're going to realize who I am. Like, you're going to realize everything. And I'm like, yeah, okay, when my chest come back, that's what I'm thinking. Like, okay, I know I'll be healed. That's what I'm thinking, right? I know I'll be healed then, like some type of something's going to happen because you done told me other stuff. But he was like, no, that's when you going to really see it. Like, you going to know it. You really going to know it. You really going to be like, yo, dang. He was like, you going to believe it. You going to be able to see it. You going to be able to understand it. You going to be like, dang, oh, you healed me. You told me, like, yo, God is real. And I was like, oh, that's what you meant. He's like, yeah, I need you to go out there and tell him how real thorough and wise I am. And how real I am. Shout out to God for giving me 2 houses. Yeah, child. Listen, I'm over here at the one with the 180 scriptures. Yeah, surrounding me. Yup, God was talking to me. He said, yeah, Valentine's Day done came up. You got to put that business out there. It's coming. I'm like, he like the Love Doctor series, about to start throwing out the podcast. Because, you just been messing with Just a Touch of J's radio. You've been doing a little podcast here and there. That's what I do. And I skate on over there, put it out there in pieces for y'all real quick. Boom. Then I'm done. I do what I do. But he like, it's coming up. Super Bowl coming up. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Like, yeah, the whole thing. You got this going on. You got that going on. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. He's talking to me. And he was like, what you used to be doing around Valentine's Day? And I was like, yeah, I know what I used to be doing. He's like, yeah, I need you to go ahead and talk to him about something. And I'm just looking at my body. I'm like, dang. And then I caught a glimpse of myself. Y'all know the ones that work out. Yes, baby. Yeah, the ones that work out. Yeah, y'all know what that's about. When you catch that glimpse of yourself and you ain't see yourself like that and you see yourself, you like, yo, why my legs? Like, this is what I said, why my legs? And it's this thick behind and these boobs and all this and in my arms and I be like, oh my God, and the muscle and it just looks so fine. And I can't say nothing, but girl, you looking so sexy, so thorough, so wise, you looking fine. Damn. God, you sure is a healer. Yeah, that's what I be thinking about. And God was like, yeah, you do. You looking at yourself and everything. You know what you used to really be doing, right? And I was like, like what? Like, what are we talking about? Yo, word. I can't make this up. I'm telling you. Because I'm sitting up here. I'm like, yo, I ain't recording a minute, but I knew it was coming. Because God said, we ain't done this boyfriend thing. Because, the boyfriend's been out here wilding. Yo, yes, listen, baby. I had left y'all on boyfriend number 7. No. Yo, boyfriend number 8. Oh, my God, yo. Hold on, I'm going to skate back over here to these pieces real quick. Yeah, I got to finish telling you. So I look at my son, God, like, what you used to be doing around this time? I'm like, yeah, he said, yeah, Ronica, you got to talk about it. You really had a whole problem. And I was like, what? He was like, look how you be talking about boyfriend number 10. He's like talking about how thorough and wise he is and how sexy he look. And you was over there and you was looking at him. And you was like, let me go ahead and do what it is that I need to be doing. Yeah, on TikTok. God was like, you straight? I was like, I'm straight. He's like, come on. He's like, but nah, you really had a whole problem. He like, so Valentine's Day, people had these problems. You know what type of problems you can have around Valentine's Day. And I'm like, yeah. He said, you put that music on. God told me. He was like, how I used to be doing. And then he always trying to tell me when I used to do it with the love of my life. Yeah, he gave me other examples too. But I guess that's when I was really doing the love thing. Like, oh my God, my baby come out, I'm getting him a card. Look, did I make sure this straight? Okay, did I make the inside of me smell like the, did I make the inside of me, put it on the outside of me? Did I make that smell like that? Let me make sure I'm doing all this right. Everything got to be straight. Yeah, that's how I used to be when he was coming over. Yeah, I used to be like, my baby coming. Yeah, God was like, what you used to be doing? Look, that's when I need to come on over here and sip on some of this water. The enemy trying to trip me up. Hold on. Wait a minute, let me get some more. Y'all like it when I do it like that, baby? Huh? Y'all like it when I do it like that? When I sip on that water? Yeah, ain't nothing like that good water. I'm trying to tell you, baby. Yes, ain't nothing like that good water. So look. So God was talking to me. He was telling me, how I used to be doing it. I'm like, yeah, all right, God, yeah, He's like, no, seriously, like, you really got to talk about this. Like, you really had a whole problem. Like, Ronica, like, he been telling me about this whole sex thing. He said, you doing good now, because, you've been celibate, been almost about 4 years. Like, you ain't been out here. You ain't been out here putting your pieces out there or nothing. I said, yeah. He said, but, I told you your husband is coming. And I told you need to have a whole sex room. God told me. He talked to me. He like, look, I'm just, I know you want to go back and forth with me and everything. But this is what you going to have. Your husband, he going to have favor on him. And he going to like these things. And these are the things that you need to do to him. That's what God was telling me. God was like, I used to be doing stuff. Some of them out there, though, they doing it with people that, I didn't put out there in pieces for him. I was like, oh. He was like, yeah, child. He was like, that's how you got your boyfriend thing. You was dating. You was out there putting it out there in pieces for him, baby. But you was really doing the whole love thing with boyfriend number 10. God was like, you used to be telling him stuff. And I was like, okay, yeah. Like, what now? Okay. What? Okay. I know. I said, like, what? Okay, here we go. Like, here we go. He like, you was just over there, looking at him. I said, like, let's keep it 100. I'm like, all right, God. I don't even know what this is going to be called. No, he like, don't need to worry about that. You just going to go in there and start talking to him. And I'm going to put it out there in pieces for you, baby. I said, all right. He's like, but you know how you was over there just looking at him and stuff. You've been celibate for 4 years. That's good and everything. But you know what you used to be doing, and people about to start putting it out there in pieces for him because Valentine's Day coming. Yeah, you know how you was looking at your body and you was like, Dad, girl, you fine. God was like, you could put it out there in pieces for some of them if you wanted to right now, right? Yeah, on TikTok. And I was like, yeah. He's like, you could. He's like, honey, yes, you could do that. He's like, because the boyfriend things is over there. They've been wilding out. Yeah. So I'm like this. So he telling me, he started telling me about myself. And I said, well, what is this called? He said, it's called Guard Your Heart. I said, man, we already talked about this. What? He's like, no, baby, no. Like, listen. He was like, that's what it's called. You got to tell them that they got to guard their heart because, people about to start putting it out there in pieces for them, baby. He's like, how you used to be doing it. And I was like, he's like, you know what the love of your life. Look, let me make sure he's straight, make sure I'm straight. Yeah. And then God started talking to me. He said, how I used to be cooking for him. Playing that music and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to make your legs shake. R. Kelly, just all type of stuff God was telling me about myself. He's like, you used to be putting that on for him. He was like, I used to put it on for him so much. That ludicrous, Welcome to my sex room. He's like, you used to be playing that. He said, you played when he was in the shower. He said one time he got out of the shower, was laughing, and he was like, look at you. This is what God said. He's like, look at you visualizing it. You see him standing right there, butt naked. That's what God had told me. And I was like, oh my God, I do. Yo, I can't make this up. I'm telling you. Listen, just hear me out. I was visualizing it like I was just watching him just standing there naked. He just had water dripping all over him. And he was like this. You trying to tell me something? And he started laughing. And it clicked in my head like, yo, you ain't even listening to what's playing. Like, you literally, I used to make playlists for him. You know, because I already knew what it was going to be. You know what I mean? Like, look, I put them, see what's up with this thing right here. Yeah, I already knew. I'm like, he coming through. I know he going to do me right. Yeah, let me make sure I go ahead and wash him up and everything. Yeah, I need to get these pieces done. Yes, I used to be thinking. Some of y'all out there, y'all doing that right now. Y'all like this. Y'all like, you know what? I am. I was getting ready to do it. Jay. You caught me. I was getting ready to do it. You know, like, whatever. Yo, like, you like, look, what's popping off? Let me get this playlist together. Baby, what do you want to eat? Yeah, I said, ask him and stuff. Like, what you want to eat? You know, because I knew. I'm like, look, I know he going to do me right. Yeah, and then he used to let me do that thing to him. You know, look, y'all, child, even talking about it. I ain't going to lie to you. You know, he loved my life. I love him. He loved me, you know. But he used to let me do that thing to him. Like, he just let me do things to him. You know, I could just say something like, this used to be my favorite thing. Okay, listen, baby. You hear how the voice changed? I can't make it up. I'm telling you. Okay, God, he was telling me about myself. He was like, yeah, that's what you used to do. Ronica, this is what you used to do. What did you used to say? And I was like, he was like, don't get all choked up. What you used to say? Like, yo. And so I'm going back and forth. God, like, go ahead, say it. I'm like this. Take your clothes off. I want to see you naked. Yeah, that's what God said. He's like, yeah, that's how I used to say it to him. Take your clothes off. And he said, you used to look him up and down and give him this look. And look, I was walking by the mirrors. God was telling me, and he was like, look at yourself. Say that. And then I looked at myself. I said in the mirror, he said, that's just how you used to say it to him. Take your clothes off. I want to see you naked. And he would take his clothes off. And he would just, I would be like, let me see, turn around. Yeah, just stuff like that. And he would just be turning around and just let me see him naked. And I used to just be like, damn, I just want to look at you. Just stuff like that. And he would just do it. And I would be like, oh my God, help me, God, help me with them pieces. He's like, don't act like you're not looking at, like you don't see that image in front of you right now. I'm dripping wet standing in front of you. You know he used to let you do stuff to him. I'm like, yeah, you know. He like, girl, and you know you used to be doing stuff to him. And I was like, yeah, but God, I mean, like, he was like, you had a whole lot. No. Somebody out there right now, they getting ready to set this whole thing up. They getting ready to go ahead. You got to get over. Look. He was like, what I tell you? Didn't I tell you got to get over yourself and stop worrying about how other people see you? Yeah. Hold on. Let me get some of this honey. Because you know this is how the enemy, this is what he do. This the raw honey. Okay, the crystallized maximum antioxidant raw honey. Yeah, it has nutrients in it and everything. 100% nutrients. Let me tell you something. It ain't nothing like crystallized raw honey. I've been eating honey, pizza. Wait till y'all get this whole diet thing. Y'all gonna be like, she does not eat that. I was like taking the pictures for Making Love V's Kitchen, because we doing that whole thing. Making Love V's Kitchen is coming. So we was doing the Making Love V's Kitchen photos, and I was like, that just looks amazing. They are not going to believe that this is this amount, and they can eat this. And God was like, that's what you eat. Because they going to want to know what you eat. They going to see their body and stuff. You're going to be out there talking to them, doing all this. It was like, they going to want to know what you eat. You know, you got to put it out there in pieces. You know how the way I tell you to do it, not like them other people talking behind stuff and all that. You know, like the whole ticking and the talking child. I can't do it. But anyway, Shout out to Just a Touch of J's Cannabis with a K. We see y'all get this honey. Yeah. Oh, God's telling me. I gotta tell y'all how God told me about boyfriend number 10. His girlfriend things. How I was like the astronaut. And they was like the basic Jones. Yeah. God was telling me about it. And I was like, what? And I gotta put the spoon down and everything. The honey, he just prompted me. We're going to get back there, okay? We're talking about the booty butt cheeks and the things I used to do to him. But yeah, God just somehow, he prompted me. I guess it's time, whatever. And shout out to my haters too. Yeah, because God's preparing the table. Yeah, and I was telling y'all that on the Just a Touch J podcast about the haters and stuff. Go check it out. Yeah, because haters acknowledge me backwards, baby. But God was telling me, he was like, listen, Ronica, people don't really hate you. They just don't know how to acknowledge you properly. Yeah, he was like, you different. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, yeah, that's all. They just don't know how to acknowledge you properly. You different. I was like, well, God, what? What do you mean I'm different? He like, listen, Ronica, you been telling men to take their clothes off and stuff like that. Like, I want to see you naked, walk around. Like, you just different. You do that little feet thing. I used to do that to boyfriend number 10. You rub him down and do all that, give him baths and all that. Like, you different. I'm like, yeah, but other women aren't doing this. That's what I'm thinking. God, like, no. That's why you got these boyfriend things. He's like, he was like, no, shout out to boyfriend number 10. Yeah, because that's who I used to do it to. Yeah, really to him. Because I told y'all he was loving my life. But look. So God's telling me, he like, yeah, child, he was out here, and he was putting pieces out there, he started telling me about these chicks and the whole line. And he was like, you was different. Okay? Like, what part do you don't understand? It was like, so I'm like, explain it to me. He like, with boyfriend number 10, let me explain this to you. He was like, he had like the average type of woman. You wasn't like them. You was like the astronaut. And I was like, what? He's like, he had the nurse thing. She was the one that came over. Child, not over, but like tried to come over. Like God was like, that girl told you, you lucky I don't know where you live. And I said this to myself. I said, yo. And this is what I told her. I was like, yo, you don't even know me like that. Yo, I was like, I think you better get here with yourself. That's what I told her. I said, you don't even know me like that. Yeah, I was like, yo, because she had called up. God was like, he was telling me, he was like, listen, this is where you're different at. She called you up and asked to speak to him. He was like, you would never. You love women too much. Like you would never do anything like that. Like you love yourself. Yeah, like you wouldn't be doing that like that, looking for no dude, calling no chick. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah. He was like, Ronica, like you just don't understand. Like you different. He was like, listen, they like, the average 9 to 5. Real estate agent, all type of stuff, partnerships, things like that. Like, they like that. That's what I said. And he was like, the 9 to 5 to 7 to 7. I go to work, the TikToks. I was like, oh, he's like, they might do a video tutorial or something like that, repost those things, I was like, okay. It's like, you don't even be over there. I was like, okay, I think I kind of understand, but I'm not really that sure. Like, okay, explain to me. God, like, I told you like the astronaut. This is what he's telling me. I can't make this up. So I'm like, an astronaut. He's like, listen, you will be at like NASA, trying to figure out how you grow cannabis, outside of the earth. And I was like, yeah, you're right about that. He was like, you're working on the cannabis strains. He was like, you've been telling them in the freaking histamine and oxalate groups and stuff over there on Facebook. Shout out to y'all on Facebook. Y'all got my stuff in the 100,000s. Like, y'all is crazy. Like, y'all be just, in these groups and all this other type of stuff. Like, y'all, look, shout out to y'all. Thank you. Okay? Yeah. Y'all over there. And I just been giving y'all that business like God said. Yeah. Like, okay, that's what you want me to do? Okay, let me do that. So anyway, look. God, like this, like that's what you would be doing. Like, you're doing the CBN and the CBG, like your strains and stuff. Like, you are literally out here doing this. It was like, people don't be out there doing that type of thing, girl. They got booking fees. Yeah, that should make up in hair money. It's like, word. That's why I told you to use like the Cardi B, Shout out to you, Cardi B. Cardi B. Shout out to you, girl. Yeah, if you listening, because they be listening. Yeah, shout out to my pastor. Yeah, Pastor Mike Jr. was nominated for a Grammy. He didn't win, but look, he did his thing. And he's doing the Super Bowl. Yeah, like the little gospel little show thing they got going on. Not that it's little, but yeah, it's big. He told y'all it was going to be big, and I did too. So look, shout out to y'all again for the millions. I'm sorry, I had to drop that out there in Peachtree, but he was just telling me, he was like, that's what you would be doing. You different. So I'm like, yeah. So he was like, so you be doing a lot of little different stuff. And I was like, yeah. He was like, that's why the girl was going crazy. I was like, well, he's like, the last one. Talking about she had to get rid of people, remember? And I was like, yeah. He was like, yo, I'm so sorry. Every time I think about it, I can't. Every time God tell me, he be like, look, because he be trying to explain it to me. And I be like this. I don't know why we got to talk about him and these shits. And God be like, because you got to understand, you was really different. And then you'll understand the love that you have for him. And why he got a love for you. And I was like, all right. He's like, they getting out here. It's Valentine's Day. So I'm like this. I'm like, all right, God, okay, what now? Okay, so he like, you just different, okay? So look, he like, now let's get back on over here and finish it up. I'm like, what? He like, you gotta, finish up this thing. Yeah, it was all about you being different and stuff. He's like, used to be out here doing different stuff and used to tell him, take your clothes off. He's like, what you used to be doing to him? And I was like, yeah. He was like, And I was like, he was like, he used to let you do it too. And I was like, oh my God. God was like, okay, like that. And I was like, yeah. He's like, you all right? Yeah. I was like, yeah. He's like, because when you tell the story, that's what he said, when you tell the story, it was crazy how he was telling me. He's like, when I tell you you're going to have to get your water. And I said, yeah. He's like, the water is to snap you back into reality. Because when you tell the story, sometimes you could really be like remembering it. He's like, it's a grounding type of thing. So I was like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I got you with that. It's like, so when you sip on the water, it reminds you of the podcast, and all this stuff. He said, I got to put it out in pieces for you, baby. And I was like, well, what's up with the honey? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, you better put some scripture on it because I'm trying to figure out how this go with anything. He's like, I already gave the scripture. Guard your heart. So he was like, this what's up with the honey, Ronica. And I'm like, all right. What's up with the honey? It's like the honey. He's like, how the enemy be messing with you. He was like, give a shout out to sis, Sarah Jakes Roberts. Shout out to you, sis, if you listening. Yeah, baby, because they be listening. Okay. So look, and I know this firsthand. I freaking was like, what's up with the honey? This is what God told me. He said the honey is like, he be messing with your voice sometimes. Your voice will change. It'll crack on things like that. It soothes the throat. And it just has to be, the things that you doing for just such as Jace Cannabis. So always give that a shout. So I'm like, okay, guys. So, okay, what's up? Okay, here we go. I got you on that. He's like, yeah. He's like, do you see how the things that you do, how they're different? He's like, you different. It's like, it's a lot of people out there that's different. And when you different, you make an impact on people's lives. Just because you different. Like, I'm telling you, boyfriend, he told me, he was like, I got to have you in my life forever. Listen, okay, you are going to have me at church on a Christmas Sunday morning early. I already know it. He was like, I know it. Like, I know one day, watch. I know it. He used to be telling me. He'd be like, I've been trying to leave you alone. I just can't. Like, he used to be like, and I used to be sitting back like, I already told you what it was. Yeah, like, but all right, if this is how we gonna do it, then okay. That's what I used to be saying, because he was the one that had the women and stuff, I used to be like, all right, And I told you, I only told him once. I'm not gonna keep telling you. I told you, and they just never stopped. They used to call me up looking for him. I told y'all this. God, like, look, but you never did nothing like that. Do you see that you different? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, when you love, sometimes you really love. And I had to show you and teach you how to guard your heart. I said, okay. He said, that's what I need you to go talk to him about. I need you to tell him how thorough and wise I am. I need you to tell him how you was putting it out there in pieces and need to guard their heart, because these boyfriend things out here wilding out a little bit. I was like, yeah, he's like, let's talk about it. He was like, boyfriend number 8, he been out here showing out. He's like, how many posts did you count the other day that he liked? I said 78. He was like, why would he go over to one of your social medias and blow it up that was just on one account? Because I got accounts everywhere. Like, I'm on all type. I got 5 Instagram, 6 Facebooks, 2 Twitter. The guy, he just over there just liking all over your stuff. On one, he did 78. I'm like, yeah. He's like, and you actually talked to him in the inbox, right? And I was like, yeah, I did. He's like, yeah, boyfriend number 8. He's like, he was telling you, hey, Jay, I like your podcast. I love it. It's real dope. I told y'all, he one of the ones, it's a couple of them. Quite a few of them in the entertainment business. Yeah, they do a few things. Yeah, So we getting there. So anyway, I'm like, because we got to talk about here, guys saying boyfriend number 6. Yeah, we in that whole little kind of circle together a little bit. We both got cannabis, things, we got our own papers, he made music, I make music, he does music, it's all type of stuff. He's an artist, he does his thing, like me, we do different things, businessman, that's the one that I was addicted to the sex with before I realized guy had told me over this short little break. No, you was addicted to, a little bit more than just him. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, he was telling me some things. But look, so anyway, we talking about how I'm different, right? And we talking about, boyfriend number 10 and all that other type of stuff. Then we talking about boyfriend number 8. Yeah, child. Liking all the posts and stuff. God was like, I had to show you how to guard your heart, right? And I was like, yeah. He was like, because he been talking to you. He been over there talking to you, making contact since October, November, right? Really before that. Because I remember when I talked to boyfriend number 10, when I was getting ready to do the tour. And I talked to boyfriend number 8, the Just a Touch of J tour, before I was getting ready to do it. Actually go on tour, really doing it. I talked to him. And I'm putting that out there in pieces for y'all now. I told y'all got a whole year of content, and that was within that time frame. Okay. So I talked to him, all right, around the time. And then I talked to him when I was coming off tour. Okay. Boyfriend number 8. So he been, skating in here, he go over here on one social media. He come over to the next one. And I was like, God was like, you see that? I was like, yeah. He was like, I was like, well, what is it with him? He was like, y'all was friends. He's like, you're going to have to talk about him, because I told you when they come over, you got to talk about him. And he wants you to talk about him. He just told you that he was listening to it. He knew what would happen if he liked all that. And I was like, yeah, I know. He was like, come on now. But he don't have no problem with talking to you. He got the wife, he got the kids. He don't have no problem. But he always liked the sexy ones. But this time he was just like everything. I said, okay. He was talking to me and told you, hit me up, Christmas. He don't have no problem with speaking. Yeah, he not like that. He's very, very confident. He don't have no problem with speaking. He would speak, what's up, Jay? How you been? What's going on? He'd tell you like this. He'd tell me. This is what he tell me. Don't make me come out there, make you my girl again. He very confident with himself. Don't make me do it, because I will do it. And then he'll laugh. And I'll be like, you don't want to try to kill the dog. Threaten to have my job taken from me. Yes, when I was out there doing my thing, a little bit more than I do right now, because I don't have to. I just do it because I want to. The whole nurse managing thing. Yeah, but he was threatening anything to destroy me. Told me I would never find nobody better than him. Yeah, but well, you cool. You always had a friendship Sometimes you look at stuff, because we was friends. I told y'all that. I told y'all, like, we was like friends. Like, we talked all the time, every day. Like, what you doing? He'd be like, I'm getting ready to go out with this chick. And I'll be like, what? And I would be telling him, he'd be like, I had to put her on my car, that fucking B.I.T. And I would be like, yo, you cannot treat women like that. That's what I would tell him, like, yo, what is wrong with you? I told his family was in that whole mafia thing. He got the daddy issues too. Yeah, his dad, women, that type of thing. It just went straight. They talk down to women. Like, I'm bigger than this, I'm bigger than that. I told you, about him. And I'm telling you right now, like, but I used to be getting on him, like, no, he'd be like this, Jay. I apologize to her. You were right. And I would be like, I know I'm right. Like, what is wrong with you? So we had a friendship type of thing. And then somehow we just hooked up. And then he started treating me like them. And I would be like, no. We better off like this. Like, I can't. But he always still wanted me. Yeah, he always still wanted me. Because I told you, what did he say? You ain't never going to find nobody better than me. That's what he thought. So when he came on over, God was like, yeah, you ain't really talk about him, boyfriend number 8. You ain't really talk about him. I said, yeah, I touched, but he's like, no, not really. He's like, you really didn't have a sex addiction with him, but he used to make you had his feeling. I was like, yo, you right. I said, yo, God, what was that? What the heck was that? Because I had the feeling with a couple people. So I'm like this. I'm like, what was that? What was that about? He's like, it was like a sexual energy type of thing. It's like, stuff like that exists, transferring of the energy and stuff. He was like, Ronica, I don't know why you wasn't acting like you wasn't doing stuff with these men. Then he started telling me, he was like, number 6. Now listen, y'all, because I don't want y'all to be thinking I was out here just, I keep trying to tell you it was 31 years of me dating. 10 boyfriends, 10 different ways. Some I was loving and some I wasn't, and some I just wanted to bump and grind and, I started getting addicted with these boyfriend things, but I dated them. And these are guys that I would consider my boyfriends. Yeah. So, look, I spent time with them. We talked and things like that. So, I was like, you, Ronica, y'all had like a little connection a little bit. So I was like, yeah. He was like, he was good to, remember when he did the 2-pick thing? And I was like, yeah. He was like, he's a really, nice person. Like, if he does what he had to do right? And I was like, yeah. He was like, And I was like, no, don't. He's like, you wouldn't go back with him, though. I was like, no, I wouldn't. He's like, no. He was like, that's not you. That's not the time. He's like, he understands that. He's like, but, you had a little something with him. Y'all always going to have kind of like a little connection a little bit. He's like, but you know how he is, right? I said, yeah, I know it. Yeah, he's like, okay. He's like, just remember, you got to tell them to guard their heart. Y'all got to understand. Y'all know how they are. Yeah, you getting ready for Valentine's Day, baby. Yes, you are. Over here in the States or wherever y'all celebrate it. Because I know y'all celebrate Valentine's Day other places, other times. Shout out to y'all in over 200 countries. Yeah, shout y'all out there. Let's tell me. Yo, I'm getting all these type of award things and everything. I got to put out there in pieces for y'all. All this type of, y'all did like 1,000 and like, probably, what was it? Like in a minute? It was like, boom. I was like, whoa. Yeah. I turned around. I was like, you're honored for this. I was like, okay. It's just so many pieces. Yeah, so many pieces. And thank y'all for it. I love you. Okay, but y'all out there doing y'all thing. And y'all out there in Valentine's Day. It's the love day. The Love Doctor series is approaching. Okay. Yeah, we start talking about that love. And the first joint is something about the women. How y'all ain't loving your men right. Oh, God told me. It's like, you got to go out there and tell them what they need to be doing. Yeah, when they know they got the one. Yeah, and how to know that you don't got the one. Yeah, and then I said, look. I said, God, what? Like, what? Because when I feel my help coming, I'm like, what? He like, He's like, go ahead and say it. I was like, say what? He's like, I've been telling you about these chicks. I'm like, oh my gosh, look, I can't make this up, y'all. He just out here got me skating out. He gonna reel me back, though. He's like, these chicks. He's like, listen, Ronica. He's like, you gotta make sure you tell them to guard their heart, because, these guys sometimes and these females can y'all have y'all out here tripping, doing stuff, especially, around Valentine's Day. I told you the chick, the nurse Joan. Yeah, let's identify it. Yeah, they used to, be looking for him. Boyfriend number 10. Yo, that chick said, is he there? I said, wait a minute, what? I said, I almost choked. I ain't lying. I swear. I remember it. God was telling me. He's like, Ronica, you damn near choked. All your saliva, because you couldn't believe that somebody was asking to speak to somebody. Pay attention. Guard your heart. You could be out there like that. Yeah, looking for him. Is he there? You know what I'm saying? Like, she there? You out here looking for women and stuff. Like, where you at? Don't do that. Because then, child, your heart will get, when you doing that, you messed up. Yeah, same people don't do that. No, they don't do that. Yeah, you know who you are? Like how I know who I am? I've never, ever, never. I wouldn't even go with my peoples when I was young, when they would be like, we going to go see if he has such and such house. I know he there trying to fight the girl. I would be like, what? The girl was basically trying to fight me. The nurse, Joan, she was like this. Is he there? Can I speak to him? And I'm like, she was like, I said, is he there? And I'm like, wait, I'm laughing. I'm choking like, what? Huh? You really do. He got you out here like that. Damn. That's what I said. I said, damn. I said, he got you out here like that. She was like, what? This is me. You lucky I don't know where you at. I told you, I already told her. You don't know me like that. You don't know me like that. Yeah, but God is like this, like, look, when you start behaving like that, sometimes it be around Valentine's Day. Because you're not guarding your heart, your issues is coming out. And he was like, you never had to deal with nothing like that with any of the other boyfriends. He's like, but each one of them had their thing. And you had your thing. He's like, I taught you how to guard your heart. Your issues ain't coming out, but theirs is. He's like, I said, well, God, come on now. Boyfriend number, 8 could just be, what I mean? And, he could just be showing love. God, like, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's showing love, all right. He was like, Ronica, remember what you used to do to these men? Yeah, and we had skate on over there. And he was like, that's why the girl was hitting you up acting crazy. Because you was considered by him. And he was like, boyfriend number 10. Yeah, like, well, no, I will go over here. Right on over to Ronnie house. Like, I will, what? No, what? She'll treat me right. Yeah, child, listen. That's that real life Valentine's Day type of stuff. And people start going crazy and people start doing stuff. And there be a lot of fatal attractions. People getting stabbed up and people getting their heart broke. Yeah, out here trying to make somebody love you because that's what she was doing. Anytime you call up another woman and ask to speak to your man, you trying to make him love you, baby. And he ain't trying to love you because you're looking for him. Yeah, like you are like, what's up? You trying to fight somebody. You all delusional. Like, when is it the other woman? Like, and my thing is like, not the other woman like that, y'all, because with me, it wasn't like that. Like, I was just chilling. He hit me up, I guess when he was between things. You know, they weren't doing what they was doing. You know what I mean? He said, you know, what's up? Let me go in there here. What's up with you? What you doing tonight or whatever? And I'm like, nah, chill. What's up? You in the bed? Let's get up this weekend. How about that? Make it a weekend thing. You know, I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? Or look, or sometimes, look, I wouldn't even be talking to him like that. Yeah, we'll just be like, we just pop up and chill. Like, what's up? Well, hey, swing through real quick. But, you know, I guess I was considered. And when you trying to make somebody love you, you start doing stuff like that. You looking for them and all this and trying to find them and trying to make them be with you. Child, don't be out here doing that. This is what this is about. I'm just giving you real life, my examples of factual things that have happened. You got to guard your heart. You got to learn how to not let your issues flow out. That's what God was telling me. God was like, you know why you so thorough wise and why you could talk to boyfriend number 8. And you know, you could like boyfriend number 10 stuff. And you know, you ain't hate when boyfriend number 9 had the nerve to text your phone. You ain't hate. He was like, you wasn't even mad at night. He said, am I still blocked? I didn't even know the number. I was like, what? I had the whole Google, the whole ad code. And I was like, I hope this ain't who it is. Yeah, it's such and such. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? God was like, you ain't hating on nobody. No, right? You got love for everybody, right? It's like, but you know why you could do that? Because you've learned how to guard your heart. And I was like, so what? I got issues? He's like, everybody got issues. Ronica used to tell boyfriend number 10, take off your clothes. I want to see you naked. He used to let you do stuff to him and you used to be doing it to him. Yeah. And he liked what you used to do to him because he used to let you do it to him. And I was like, yeah. It's like, Ronica, snap back in it. Stop saying them right now with that water dripping off. Remember, I taught you how to guard your heart, right? You know, you got to tell them about their issues. How yours be flowing out sometime here and then. You got to be like, yo, no, wait a minute, hold on. Let me keep on winning. Go with the horses. I told you it's time to become. But the Valentine's Day is coming up. And some of y'all like, I'm doing this for my boo. And he might not really be your boo. I'm doing this for my girl. She might not really be your girl. Yeah, you might be out to look for him. Like, I know he wasn't with me at 8 o'clock this morning. I know he was over there. Yeah, you might be like, you know what? I checked the phone. Yeah, she over this nigga house. Yeah, I'm saying, or whatever. Look, I don't know what's going on, but God said, yo, you got to talk to him. I was like, why? He was like, cause people issues is coming out. Boyfriend number 7, he just came over. Let's not forget, you just left off talking about him. And he do this, child, he be doing that whole ticking and talking. I just be like, what? Like, why are you coming over to my TikTok so I can see that you view my page? Like, yo, your issues is coming out. He want me to talk about him. He trying to get me all riled up so my issues come out. Because, Ronica, remember, you know what you used to be doing to his face. God, like, look, I mean, you got to talk about it because it's real. Y'all out here doing things to people's faces. Yo, I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. You remember? Yeah, and they hitting you up and they liking the little photos and people issues is coming out. They getting them feelings. They're remembering what happened to other Valentine's Day or when they was with you or when they wasn't with you. Maybe they was with you at the Valentine's Day. Like, I don't know. You know how people be doing. I don't do this around this time of the year, but I can see you after Valentine's. That stuff they be out there doing, that trickery. It's about to happen. And a lot of people's feelings going to get hurt. Yeah, a lot of y'all going to be hurt after this. Yeah, listen, it's millions of y'all listening to me. Somebody's going to be hurt. Because God told me. God said, Ronica, you know what it is. You get your little feelings hurt. You don't listen to me. So I'm telling you right now, you better listen to me and you better guard your heart. I don't know who this is for. If you going to be out there like the ones, you different, okay? So females, ladies, y'all hear that? Yeah. I put that on the song that I made for boyfriend number 10, Love My Life. Yo, I just got to say it again. I got to look at it. Yo, I got the whole freaking V. Okay. Yes. Have y'all seen my abs? Listen, that was when I put the abs out there before. Scroll on the social media for those of y'all who do the social media thing. Because everybody don't do that whole social media thing. Okay. But I'm everywhere. I'm on all, not just the regular Facebook. I'm in stuff with different countries and all that type of stuff. So just, Google Just a Touch J and find it wherever y'all do your social media thing at. Okay. And it's out there. Okay. That's all. Just put the Just a Touch of J in that your little social media thing and you'll find me. Most of the time. Yeah, like I'll probably say 98% of the time you will find me and what's going on. Okay? So look, do that. And thank you for showing the love, but y'all, y'all putting it out there, man. And I don't want y'all to be getting hurt. Yeah, y'all gonna be getting hurt. Y'all gonna be, y'all could be going through some things, man. Listen, okay? Find me. Look at it, okay? Check it out. Love Dr. C's. All that's coming to podcast. Everything. I don't want you out here messed up. I don't. God really had to teach me how to guard my heart. Yeah, boyfriend number 6. God was telling me, he was like, Ronica, like you have to tell him, like you like spend time with God. God will really help you. Like I really had a sex addiction thing with him. Like God, through this little bit of time, God was telling me about it. He was like, Veronica, God was talking to me because I'm like, it wasn't that bad. He was like, Veronica, he told you it was kind of like, he tried to compare it to ice cream. I told y'all that on several episodes. Just a Touch of J's vocals, baby, because I got to repeat it for those of y'all who just coming over. Maybe this is your first time hearing it, but I told him. Yeah, I told him he compared it to ice cream. Boyfriend number 6, he said, like you want to do sexual things, right? All this stuff, right? And I'll say, yeah. And he was like, you like chocolate ice cream, right? It's like ice cream, Ronica. I'm like, all right. He like, you like Ronnie. He said Ronnie because you call me Ronnie. Ronnie, it's like ice cream. Yeah, you like the chocolate ice cream, but you want everything on it. Do you really want all that on the ice cream? I'm like, yeah, we should, yeah. Like I told boyfriend number 7, we should be doing it at least 8 or 9 times. What are you talking about in a day? Like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't have that problem with boyfriend number 6. He was the one, though, that was telling me, like, Ronica, and God was like this, look, okay, think about the car. This is what God said. God said, y'all used to be doing it everywhere. You don't care where you're doing it at, outside, whatever. He was like, but you know what you used to do to him in the car. And I was like, oh my God. God was like, look, I was like, okay, show it to me. God showed it to me. I said, oh my God, no. God was like this. Cause like, I don't be trying to, I know, look, some of y'all, those of y'all who talk to God, you are like, yo, that's how God be talking to me. Y'all know it. You like this. Dang, he be talking to me like that too. He be telling me. Cause he be talking to you when you got a relationship with him. Yeah, when you could relate, he could relate to you. You got to have a relationship to relate. You got to relate to have a relationship. Like, come on now. You spend some time, we start dropping dimes on you. Trying to tell you, y'all about to get this Bible study. Just a Touch of J, seek ye first. Oh, the fast. But hold on, okay? So look, because God, he be having me over here. I be like, dang. Okay, but I said the fast. I ain't going to forget the fast. All right, so look. So guys, like, just guard your heart. You know what you used to be doing. Okay? You used to be doing that stuff to him in the car. Okay? You used to do stuff to boyfriend number 8. Okay? And I was like, I used to do stuff to boyfriend number 8. He's like a little son. He's like, you know how you used to be doing them, Ronica. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, you used to do certain things. He's like, you did, what you did to his face, God telling me, God, like, what you used to be doing with this one? He's like, in 6, come on, Ronica, that's why he was underneath your bed. You woke up and he was in your house. Yeah, he was like, come on now, what you were doing was for. You had a whole girlfriend with him, like, I mean, don't make me put out there a piece. God was telling me about myself. He's like, and there's a lot of stuff like that about to be going on. He's like, and the thing is, they got to guard their heart. I'm like, okay. He's like, Ronica, your issues sometimes, they could come out. He's like, back to boyfriend number 8. He over there showing you love. He talking to you. He texting you. Been 4 years. That's what God had said to me. That's what God said. I was like, yeah. He's like, he wants you to talk about you all up in your inboxes. And him, he'll hit you up without no problem. What's up, Jay? Told you he don't got a problem with talking to you. Yeah, some of my boyfriend things, they got problems with talking to me. That's why they do stuff like that. Yeah. They'll hit my kids up and stuff like that. Like, my daughter be like, yo, why is boyfriend number 7 like my son? Why he all up? So they, they'll come tell me. But the problem is, though, sometimes they don't. Yeah, I remember when my daughter was like, yo, mom, like, I forgot to tell you, like, it been like a couple months, like, boyfriend number 4, like, he blew up my phone like 30 times, like, trying to, like, kept calling. I said 30. She was like, Mom, it was like 30 times. Because I was like, yo, I'm about to put him on Do Not Disturb. And I said, yeah, and God said, he will call your phone 100. Remember, he was the one that was in your inbox. Okay, talking about, I love you. Call me, yo, FaceTime me. And I was like, yeah. God, like, look, please tell them to guard their heart. Yeah, don't be out there trying to find nobody, trying to make somebody love you. That clearly is not trying to love you because you're looking for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, well, but I guess, the nurse John said, I had to get rid of her. I guess, when somebody putting that business on you, shout out to you, boyfriend number 10. You were putting that business on her, baby. Because she was out here talking about she's making people disappear. I said, yo, I got to find him. I told y'all, give him a high five. Yeah. Because when you got somebody making when you got a female, like I had to get rid of her, like she really thought she was making people disappear, you can't make nobody. Look, I'll tell you about boyfriend number 10. Who gonna make me stop loving him? You can't make nobody do nothing. But, that's why she was looking for him. She trying to make him do something. I guess he wasn't doing, but look, I don't want y'all out there like that. God said, no, you can't be out there like that. Can't be looking for her. She can't be looking for you. You can't be no. You got to guard your heart. Don't let your issues out. Yeah. When you get them little phone calls, people be hitting you up, you're like, boyfriend number 8. Yeah. And he the one I told you, try to kill my dog. Yeah. Tell me I never find nobody like him, but he just like 70 of my joints. And I told you my joints, that's what we call like things. Like over here in the States, like where I'm from. So John could be like, it could be weights. Pass me them Jones. It could be, candy. Pass me them Jones. It could be shoes. And you looking at them. Y'all see them Jones? Yeah. It could be John. Yeah. I was messing with John. Referring to a female or a male. Like, yo. John is just so thorough. It's more like a female though. Yeah. Yeah. Or I like them Johns. The pants, like we call Timberland boots, butters, things like that. Trees. Check out that episode. Yeah. Yeah, man, out there seeing men like trees walking around. That's how I got my boyfriend thing. Check that out. Y'all like that episode too, but look, I don't want y'all to be out here like that. Yeah, I don't want y'all to be out here like that. Yo, you got to guard your heart. Yeah, the heart is deceitful above all things. Do you see how I had the boyfriend thing before I got my life together with Christ? Do you see that? It's deceitful above all things. I told you I wouldn't have been messing with boyfriend number 10. Like knowing that. Regardless if I loved him or not, if my heart wasn't being deceitful above all things, if I wasn't guarding my heart, I was out there like seeing men like trees walking around. That's what I tell you on the podcast, the vocals. Yeah, I was really out there like the guy in Mark 8. They brought him to Jesus. Yeah, they brought him to Jesus. Jesus had spit in dirt, put on his eyes like, yo, do you see anything? Because the people that he was around had him seeing men like trees walking around. Yeah, when you ain't out here guarding your heart, y'all, man, your issues, yo, they'll come out, man. And we about to be talking about that. Yeah. On the Love Doctor series. Yeah, baby, what we talking about? Because I can't have y'all out there, searching for people and your heart getting broke and, you think you're the only one and, maybe you are, listen, but this ain't for y'all, God said, no, this ain't for the one, that's just the one, you're out there, you're loving your life and you're doing what you do. You like, dang, yo, they be out there wilding like that because you don't really know. I didn't know. Until I got caught up in it. Yo, I didn't know until I was at the house crying. I told y'all, I went over to boyfriend number 10 house. Yo, I was sitting in that thing. He was coming down the steps. Like, hey, wait a minute. Hey. And I was in this crib, just sitting there, plotting, thinking, I'm going to get away with this. To God said, Ronica, the kids. And I was like, yeah, he didn't even know I was up in there. He was up there with somebody. But stuff be happening. And I wasn't over there trying to make him love me or nothing. I just was like, wait a minute, hold on. I thought we was getting up. Like, what happened? Like, God said the jersey came up out of me. Like, wait a minute, what? You trying to play me? Like, what? Like, oh, no, we're not doing this. But that's like the issue, like the heart. It's deceitful above all things. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and I could be right now just like, yo, I wonder what's up with boyfriend number 7. He done came over the TikTok. He wanted me to see him. What's up to you, baby? Shout out to you, baby, if you listening. He wanted me to see him. He had that body. Yeah. He always told me. Yo, we gonna be together. I never find nobody like you. I've been with women, yo. I just want to have sex with you. And I used to tell him, no, we're not just going to have casual sex. I'm not having casual sex with you. You must be kidding. I told you. Thank you, God. God told me, yo, go tell him to talk to me about you and then come back and tell me what God said. And he, he a Christian. And he would be, break down after a while, come back and be like, I talked to God about you. And I'll be like, what? He'd be like, he told me I don't even need to mess with you like that. I said, oh, all right. And I'm going about my business. But I could be like, yo, what's up with you? Go over there, like something on his page since he came to mine. If I didn't know how to guard my heart. Yeah. If I was letting my issues come out, scared on over to boyfriend number 10, Joan. Like a whole bunch, like 70 of his Jones. Yeah. It's like 70 of them. Yeah, something like that. Like, how boyfriend number 8, just tried to do me. Yeah. Y'all got to guard your heart. Yeah, that's what God said. I said, God, you want me to go back like that? Like, no. But I'm like, why I got to talk about this? He's like, yo, because when you're different sometimes. Yeah, they got to learn how to trust me. They got to hear me. I'm telling them, guard their heart. Whoever this is for, look, you've been warned. That's the scripture. I hear God telling me to tell y'all this. That John 10:25. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Where we at? Wait a minute. Hold on. Where we at? Because I know it's right here in my face because God been giving it to me. I've been studying for your Bible study. Oh, and Jesus answered, I did tell you, but you do not believe the works I do in my Father's name. It testifies about me. This John 10:25. This sent these 2 to my daughters. Yeah, even though he had done so many signs attesting miracles right before them, they still did not believe and failed to trust him. That's John 12:37. You actually need to read the whole chapter, John 12 and John 10. Yeah, check that out. I just put some of that in my stories. And shout out to you again. Boyfriend number 10, yeah, on TikTok. Yeah, on TikTok. Yeah, y'all. You don't know where they be doing that ticking and that talking there. He got his thing going on over there. Yeah, so, he was in the stories and stuff, and I was just dropping in the stories real quick. The scriptures and stuff, because I'm getting ready to do the whole Bible study thing and everything. God said, look, Ronica, you really have to tell them to guard their heart like somebody who this is for right now. They doing this whole thing. They get everything ready, and all that. And, they get ready to let these issues out because people was letting their issues out. It's a love time of the year. That's when people doing it. They seeing the balloons. Remember, you was just in the store because y'all, I don't go to the store like that. I got to the point where I don't have to go to the store for myself. Okay. Shout to God, yo. Man, listen, God, you so thorough and wise. But I got to the point where I don't have to do that. Yeah. Y'all should, I got to stop looking at my body. I'm looking at it, but look, God was telling me, he was like, the reason why you could see it like that. I got on, wait a minute, hold on. Let me pull this down so I can really see myself. My God, this don't make no sense. Yo, the way my stomach is, I don't even be really seeing it. And now I'm just standing here like, oh my gosh, like, yo, this is something else. I'm sorry, y'all. One of my peoples is telling me, I was telling them how I work out. My sister, actually, let's keep it 100. My sister, shout out to you, Jen. Yeah. My sister, Julianne. I am Jillian. She's Julianne. Okay. Shout out to you if you're listening, girl. She told me I should do competition and stuff. Cause she was like, yo, cause your body. It's just like, she's like, you should do the competition. But I'm looking at it, right? And I got this light. Okay, like it's like I can see my silhouette in it, but I can also see myself in one of the mirrors that I have. The way the guy had everything set up for me here. Shout out to God for giving me time. Yeah, but in the room, right, with the 180 scriptures, I got these lights and I can like turn them off, and like one will shine right over me if I'm standing there. But if I turn it off, you can see the other light in the far distance. Yeah, but I can look at myself. I got like this full body like mirror, and I could just see my body and stuff. Yeah, but anyway, back to that. I just was rubbing on myself. I tell y'all, you got to love on yourself, please. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, yo, love you. Yeah, love God, yo. Hear me. I was out there putting it out there in pieces. I had some issues. Yeah, I had some major stuff going on, through the years and stuff. And shout out to y'all, all my boyfriend things is listening, because y'all was putting up with it. Yeah, y'all was putting up with it like, oh, crying. I still going on with my mom and stuff, my grandpa. Oh my gosh, we going to talk about them pieces, family stuff. Y'all was there like, it's okay. I be crying, going through like, why you acting like that? But then I even started doing stuff like this, because I told y'all I don't know nothing about no regular sex. Boyfriend number 6, I would do stuff. This don't make no sense, y'all. I'm sorry. Like, I'm rubbing on my body. Maybe I should just stop touching on myself. I just can't stop touching on myself. I got a problem. I like touching on myself. Seriously, like I rub on my chest and my butt, and I'll even touch my vaginal area. Yeah, no lie, but not like touching on it, but just, like I might squeeze it some, like through the day. I don't know. I just like touching on my body. Like I'll squeeze my arms. It's like me loving on myself. I might squeeze my knee or my leg, but I just had my leg up and I just felt my muscles in my legs. Anyway, shout out to y'all for, putting up with mama pieces, baby. Yeah, and I'm telling y'all, I had pieces back then. They had pieces. I had to put up with theirs. Okay? And y'all out here putting up with people pieces. And, it might not be the piece that God has for you. Yeah, and you might be going through something. You might be stressed out. This might be a bad time for you. You might be remembering how you were hurt last Valentine's Day. Or whatever, or another Valentine's Day or whatever. The love stuff is approaching. I told you, I was at the store and they had the balloons and everything up. Things like that, like Christmas time, sometimes reminds you of just, trauma. And you might just be out there like, look, I just want to see you, I just want to be around whoever, whatever. It's love day, everybody out here showing love, and you got to watch it, because your issue might be coming out. You might be out there trying to hit somebody up, like boyfriend number 7 just liked all my stuff. Not boyfriend number 7, boyfriend number 8. Drink some of this water. Must be water time. Let me see. I got a little bit left. Let me sip on some of this water. Oh, I'm doing good on the time. Okay, let me hurry up. That's it. Listen, y'all. So the water had started dripping, right? And then I started licking my lips. And I'm about to suck on this last little bit of honey. It's the raw honey. The crystallized raw honey. Again, shout out to Justin Touch J's Cannabis. with a K. Make sure y'all look that up. Go there, search it with a K. You gotta suck on the crystallized honey. Yeah, because it's just be like all over the spoon. Whew. And it's so powerful. It's like an antioxidant. Like, you see what I'm saying? It'll like, hey, you cough a little bit like, whoo, because it's so strong. Good for the immune system. Yes. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell y'all. That's it. That's really like it. That's the end of the whole thing. That is really like the end of the whole thing. Like, seriously. Let me get some of this water, y'all. Hold on. He's trying to have me tripped up. God told me, he said, you might have to get some more water. Wait till I be showing y'all how I've been cooking for y'all. Hold on. I gotta put down the device. How I'm doing it this time. Wait until I be like showing y'all how I've been making Loving V's kitchen. Yo! Wait till I show y'all that. Wait a minute, hold on. I gotta sip on some of that good water. Yeah, child. I've been making Loving V's kitchen. Look, I actually thought I had gained weight. Yeah, I thought I had gained weight, y'all. Listen, I hopped on the scale. I was like, yes, I know I gained some weight. Nope. I want nothing. Because I have a high calorie. Actually, I've been cutting down some of my calories and stuff because I'm doing some other type of stuff. Yes, I've been cutting down. I ain't even gonna hold you, but like usually I eat like 2,000 to 3,000. But I would probably say 28 to like 3,000 calories a day I have to eat. And you like, dang, because I just be burning through it. I told you I work out all the time. You do like 100 push-ups a day. You walk, like I walk for hours sometimes if I can. Yeah, like I'll be doing my thing. Like I don't play. Boyfriend number 10, he know that. He know I don't play when it come. Like if I gotta do, okay, let me get ahead and get straight. Let me make sure I'm straight. But now I don't gotta get straight. I'm always straight. I've been straight. Yeah, because I learned how to go out my heart. Yeah, you like how I brought that back? Yeah, I know how to go out my heart. Yeah, so I don't know how many times to tell y'all. Oh, prayer. Thank you. God was like, don't forget that. Listen, okay, so I got the Just a Touch of J's prayers for the Bible study. That's all coming out, everything, okay? Make sure y'all Google Just a Touch of J's prayers. But this is what I have to do. I'm calling a fast. Yup. I'm calling a fast. Okay, now look. I'm going to tell you the name of the fast. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why we fasting. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do in the fast real quick, because I got to do that. Okay, the whole fast thing. Okay, so for 2025, I fasted every month of the whole year. So from January to December, I fasted every last 5 days of the month. And what I did was just what God said. God said, eat this, I ate that. God said, do this at this time, I did that. I did it anyway, but those 5 days I was locked in, I was toned in. And sometimes he would be like, I need you to fast for this person for these 5 days. Okay, no eating till 2 o'clock. You pray for him at this time. Every day. Okay, whatever he told me to do. I was in constant connection with the Holy Spirit. That's why you see my podcast was 8,000, 80,000. Now it's over millions. In a whole year, I did what God told me to do. Okay. So I'm like, yeah. So God, I said, well, he said, don't forget to tell him this. For the last 5 months of 2025, you fasted the whole 30 days. So it was like an additional 25 days that I did what God said for the last 5 months. So only 12 months in a year. Oh, really. That's how we count it. So God was like, look at what happened to your life. I was like, yeah. He's like, you got all this stuff. Like, you got 2 houses. You done been to the truck. I done told you about that. He said, come on. The Just a Touch of J enterprise. Here's how you already know about Just a Touch of J's estates. Here's like, come on. Here's like, in this whole year, he's like, I need you to call a fast. Pastor Mike, your pastor's talking about becoming. You see how you became through the year? You learn how to guard your heart. You're not letting your issues flow out like, yo, you got something right here. I taught you things. You got a room full of 180 scriptures. You over here rocking in Vietnam. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, in Vietnam. I love my babies. Thank you for listening to me. Because some of y'all could just, listen to me on Just a Touch of J's radio. Wherever you doing your thing at, thank you. Shout out to the millions of y'all. But look, this is what I'm saying. God, you need to call a whole fast. You got to teach them stuff. How not to let the issues flow out of their heart. We going to be doing the whole thing. And he was like, the thing we about to do, the full armor of God with the names of God and the love. The love. Because you love people different, Ronica. Remember? You told them that on your last Just a Touch of J's podcast. There's a lot of different names of love. Y'all remember that one? What is it called? Because you don't got a relationship with God. You don't know what love is because you don't got a relationship with God. Yeah, I told y'all about the love. Phileo love, agape love. All these different type of loves. Yo, I gotta stop it. I'm just rubbing on my legs like, sometimes I keep trying to tell you, I'm not one of them people that be looking at themselves. I don't look at myself and be like, damn. But I'm rubbing on myself and this body crazy. Shout out to my husband. Yeah, baby, if you listening. Yeah. Yes, baby. Yes. Yeah, because God told me, my husband, he coming. That's why I gotta go ahead and take care of this boyfriend thing. I'm like, look, he like, you gotta have sex with him at the house. I told you what you gotta do to him. Yeah, and I'm like, dang. I'm like, look, I need you to tell him. That's how you got all this clarity about all these things. Yeah, because you did this whole fasting thing. You did what God said. I said, yeah, you right about it. He said, so look, this is what you're going to call it. Okay. Just a Touch of J's. Do what God said. 2026. Yeah. Or maybe we could call it this, because I hear the Holy Spirit. Maybe I got it backwards. Is it Just a Touch of J's 2026? Do what God says? Let me look it up, because I had to write it down. God be telling me. I don't want to quote him wrong, and then he be out here like, you out here telling stuff wrong, and you ain't doing what I said. Yo, hold on. Because I can't be out here lying to y'all. Just... Hold on. Y'all like how I could just pause like that? Hold on. Yeah. Ciao. Yeah, that's what it's called. You ready? It's called Just a Touch of J's. Okay? Do what God says. 2026. Okay? Yeah. 2026. Okay? So we fasting Okay? Every last 6 days of the month. The whole year of 2026. And all we doing is what God says. And I'm going to show you, like I just put it in my stories. If you watching my stories on Instagram and on Facebook, okay, and a couple other places out there, y'all already know. I done put it out there in pieces for you. The whole thing. If you watching it, you'll see my scriptures. Because I'm going to have, y'all got to get a Bible because we're going to be going through these scriptures, just to touch of J's scriptures. Okay? And every last 6 days of the month, you're going to come up with this plan. And it's whatever God tells you to do for these 6 days. You're going to reset. You're going to reflect on it. Beginning of the month, one day. Okay? And reflect on everything that God brought to you. You're going to get a prayer book. And in these 6 days, you're going to write out your prayers. You're going to write out your dates and your times. Okay? In this prayer book. You have to have a Bible to do this. I'm going to give you links. I'm giving you everything that you need. But you need to get a Bible. I recommend that you get one that has 4 in it. 4 different type of translations. I put it out there in pieces for you already. Check it out all over my social media. You'll see mine. You'll see pictures of me with my Bible out. I'll tell you right now. Let me tell you what type of Bible I have. So that way, just in case you want to go ahead and get that Bible. And God said, you know you're going to have to come out with Bibles, Ronica. I said, I know. But I got an NIV, a King James Version, an NASB, 1995, and an Amplified, 2015. The 4th Bible version together for study and composition. In comparison. 4 Bible version together for study and comparison. And it is made by, hold on. Okay. I'm going to spell it for you. Okay. ZON, like Zon, DER, Zonder Van, VAN. ZONDERVAN, Zondervan. Okay? Parallel Bible. Check it out, okay? Something real simple. I love this Bible. God gave me this Bible. I had prayed for it. I was like, God, I want a new Bible. I don't know. It was like, boom, boom, boom. But get yourself the Bible. Because what I want you to do is you're going to get the scripture. Okay? You're going to get that on the Just a Touch of J's, Seek Ye First. That's the online Bible study. The online app Bible study. You get it on the app and online. So you're going to get the scripture. We're going to have the scriptures. You're going to put the scriptures down. You're going to learn the scriptures. I'm doing a whole review on the scriptures. You got the context. You got the background. You got everything. Everything you need. I got it all set up for you. And then we fasting every last 6 days of the month. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to write down your prayers. You're going to write down the time and the date. That's what I do in my Bible. That's what I was saying. I put it out there in pieces for you out in the stores and stuff. Out on social media a little bit. So you can see how you do it. And what happens is sometimes God brings you back the same scriptures. Like right now, that's what he's doing with me. Okay, so last year he gave me all the scriptures. He told me to put dates on them. Now he's telling me, now go back to the date. Yeah, this is what you was going through. So you'll be able to see like, okay, this is what's going on. God brought me this scripture 5 times. This is the one that stuck out to me. The one that stood out to me. Because I'm going to give you the scripture and then you're going to have to cross-reference it. You're going to write it down. You're going to write what it means to you. All this in the Bible study. Oh, man, I'm putting it out there in pieces for you. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to write down your prayers. And you're going to put your date and your time in your Bible. So when God bring it back to you again, you understand why. Because that's how you're going to see God talking to you. Oh, man, we about to get this business. Because y'all got to learn some stuff. And I learned how to guard my heart. So I'm calling the fast. When we going to start the fast? Yeah, when we going to start the fast? The day you hear this, I'm putting it out. Okay? The day that you're going to hear this, I'm putting it out in pieces for you. I'm going to say today is the day we starting to fast. Okay? Because today is, let me make sure I got it right. Hold on. Because I got to be dating and timing and all this stuff for y'all with all these pieces. I tell you the wrong date and the time, and then it's all messed up. It's Wednesday, okay? February the 4th, 2026. This is the time, 8:22 p.m. This is kind of like how you got to write it in your Bible when God give you the scripture. This is how you got to write it down when you write in your notes, okay? In your section, in your book, in your journal. This is what you have to write down. This is my prayer. This is the date. This is the time. This is what I'm praying for. And then when God goes ahead and he brings it to you, you write down the date and the time. The date, the time, the prayer, and everything. I want you to see how God will answer your prayers. When you fast and you just do what God says. How he'll make your life go the way that it's supposed to go. That's why I'm out here trying to tell you, you got to guard your heart. It is deceitful above all things. And it's, it's around that time. And I know all about that. Yeah, baby. I know all about it. I know how I used to be putting it out there in pieces for him. Told you. Boyfriend number 10. Take your clothes off. I want to see you naked. Yeah, just like that. And he would just take his clothes off. And I'll be like, turn around. I just want to look at you. I know what I used to be doing. Eat this. What else you want? Let me rub your feet. Who you out here messing with? Because they ain't out here treating you right. That's what I used to tell them. And when you don't do what you got to do, you could be like these girlfriends that he had, these women. They used to be calling me up looking for him. Especially when you different. Other people sometimes be choosing you because they still love you. The issues be coming out to be liking 70 type of posts, like boyfriend number 8. Yeah, he out there showing the love like that. That's my boo. She doing her thing. I listen to your podcast. I like it. See, you already know I talk about the boyfriends, and he already told me what? You ain't never gonna find nobody better than me. So he thought. Yeah, so, he out there, he doing this little thing or whatever, he liking stuff, and then, God said, don't forget to tell him this. This is what he had. Look, because God said, I always show you that they still got some of the same stuff going on. Ronica, I always show you this. Look at what he said to you. I said, what, God? You already know, you caught it. I said, what? He was like, remember he was in the inbox talking to you? What did he feel the need to tell you? I said, what? God said, go ahead, think about it real quick. I said, all right, let me think about it real quick. I said, I know now, God. God, yeah. What'd he do? What he always do? Yeah, come over here and talk to you and all that other type of stuff, right? Yeah, you talk back to him a little bit. Yeah, what's going on with you? Okay. There you go. Well, let me get ahead and do what I got to do because I'm out here winning. I said, oh, yeah, God, you know how he do. He always wanted to have one up on you. That was your thing with him. I said, yeah, you're right. You talk about your food, he got to talk about something like that. You talk about you working, he got to go ahead and talk about something like that. It was like he always wanted to be above. Remember how he used to treat the women that he was with? He always wanted to be above them. Like you beneath me. Like I'm out here, I'm doing this. God, that's what he just said to you, right? I was like, yeah, God, come on, Ronica, That's why you wasn't with him. I taught you how to guard your heart. His issues coming out. That's why you over there liking stuff. And then he gonna listen to this, and he gonna know it's the truth. Set him free. The truth always set him free. Then you know what else God said? He said, Ronica, I want you to pay attention to something. Any one of your boyfriend things that got an issue with you telling the truth, got a problem. I said, why? He said, because they don't like hearing about themselves. All you telling is the truth. That's what I tell you to tell them. They know it's the truth. If they got a problem with the fact that you telling the truth, they got a problem. It's like, you know how you know? Nobody ever got offended. This is what God said. He said, Ronica, nobody ever got offended by a comment or anything that didn't pertain to them. Real recognized real. They can identify that that's them. That's why I told you this to number them. They're going to know who they are. And if they don't, they're going to keep coming over till they figure it out. They're going to be like, daggone, but that's the truth. They just don't want to hear the truth. You not turning around. You running with the horses. You know your boyfriend thing is done. I ain't messing around with them. But you could if I didn't teach you how to guard your heart. You got to tell them how to fast. You got to tell them how to pray. You got to tell them how to seek ye first the kingdom of God through the Bible study. Yeah, that's that Matthew 6. That's what I named the Bible study. Seek ye first, because you got to seek him first. Tell them. Teach them how to read the Bible. I healed you. Teach them how to answer, how to get their prayers answered. Show them. Show them how to come up with a little prayer journal. Show them how I talk to you. Let them see how I give you the same exact scripture around the same time. Let them know how I used to fall down before I had you make the thing, and show them how to put it up in your room that I gave you with the 180 scriptures. I gave you 2 houses. Like, yo, you straight podcast like a whole million. Like, more than that. Like, y'all, because look, honestly, I've really been putting this out there for a few months now. You know, like some of y'all get things when y'all get them, if I put it out there on social media or whatever. But, you know, this has been going on for some time now. You know, and God was like, you know, tell them like so they understand. You know how celebrities sometimes how they'll like, you know, they're artists and stuff. They'll put their stuff out there like Jay-Z, Beyonce. Most of y'all know these people, you know, things like that. You know, like these artists, you know, in around the world, you know, that you know. They might put it out there. It might have happened last year. You're just now finding out. You know, like the Grammys, these things are already filmed months in advance sometimes. And then this is when it airs. You know, so we already knew about these whole millions type of things. But now it's even more. Because I did what God said. Yeah, God said, you know what, Ronica, God heals you. So you know, you promised you'll put it out there in pieces for him. So you know you're going to have to talk to him. Even though when you're tired, you don't feel like it. You have to let them know. And some people might not want it like it. They might not hear it. They might not care. Like, oh my God, she over here. You know, she's talking about sex and this and that. And then she's talking about God and all that. I mean, like, I'm so sorry. I can't lie. You know, for those of y'all too Christian-y. Yeah, you know, you like to hide your sin. Yeah, no, baby. God said you overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the power of your testimony. Yeah, you got to put it out there in pieces. That's how they used to tell them. Like, yo, if there wasn't no written word, wasn't no Bible. You had to literally, yo, let me tell you what a man named Jesus did. Let me tell you what happened around here. Yo, word, look, this what happened. I seen him heal somebody right in front of my face. Yeah. They was out there like that. Like, yo, come see. Remember they took the guy to Jesus. Like, yo, he out here seeing men like trees walking around. Jesus, I know Jesus a healer. Jesus, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the lady, yo, with the issue, with the blood, 12 years she was bleeding. She was messed up. Yo, she went the doctor at the doctor. Yo, she had the issue. I told you. I was like her. I had to have the issue. So I can come out here and tell y'all about it. She had this issue. And she just said, yo, if I could just believe, if I could touch the hem of his garment, I know that I'll be made whole. 12 years of bleeding. She was 12 years just like Jairus' daughter. Yeah, check that out, y'all. Go look it up. Woman with the issue of blood. Okay? Look it up. I like y'all to go look it up for yourself in the Bible. Yeah, check that out. Yeah, Jairus' daughter was sick for 12 years too. And they thought she died around the time that Jesus was out there with her. And she was like, I wish I could just touch him. I know he could heal me. And she touched him and he felt the virtue come out of him. Said, wait a minute, who touched me? They're like, you know, master, like, you know, you in a crowd of people. Everybody's touching you. You know what I'm saying? He like, no. Somebody had faith. Somebody believed. Somebody touched me. And when you out there and you start touching all over Jesus, start touching all over God, start tapping with the Messiah be doing things like making your podcast go over millions. Because, you know, people always, yo, let me go ahead. Let me do this real quick because we about to close. God just told me. People always trying to, you know what I mean, discredit God, right? Like me, you know. He didn't think I was going to be nothing. My own family told me that. You making a big mistake. You ruining your whole life. I bet not now. You know what I'm saying? Try to kill my son, my own grandma. Like, all type of stuff. Like, I went through it. Was in foster care. My mom abused me. Sexual abuses in the family. I never got sexually abused, but, things was said to me from my own grandfather. Yeah, like all type of stuff. Like, baby, y'all going through stuff like this. And God said, you know what? I got to teach you. I got to let them see, Ronica. I could use somebody just like you. I need you to teach them how to guard their heart. Valentine's Day is coming. I don't know how you was out there. I don't know how you was doing things. Yeah, because look, I'm going to show them through you, right? Just what he said. This is what I had gave y'all the last time. God been talking to me about it. He was telling me how he likes to use the foolish things to shame the wise. Ooh, child. He likes to use the foolish things to shame the wise. And when God likes to use the foolish things to shame the wise, that's what he does. So look, let me go ahead and give you the scripture. And I need you to really just hear me. Listen to these vocals when I give you the scripture. I'm looking for it right now. I'm trying to stall. Where it say, hold on, I'm going to find it. Because it was right in my face. I've been working on it for this whole thing. Look at your own calling, believers. Not many of you wise. Where it said, come on, God, where it said? You been making me do this third one scripture. I do got it up in there. I could do that. Should I do that? Because I did break it down, but then I'm going to have to tell y'all, no, it's up here. I'd rather do it like this. Let me find it. My thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. Check out the episode. I still ain't learned where this stuff is at yet, y'all. We who teach God's word are from God. Y'all like when I say that? That's my jam. That's my jam. Oh, here it go. I knew it. I just talked to y'all about this on the last one. I just talked to you about this on the last one. I don't know why I know it was right there in my face. God, like, it's right there, girl. All right, here we go. Just look at your own calling, believers, right? Just believers. I'm talking to you. This is God right here. This is the word, okay? This is what he said. Just look at your own calling. Like, seriously. Believers, the people who believe, okay? Because y'all other ones, you know, you're not, okay? We love you. I love you. Everything. Okay. God said, you got to start praying again. Like, I pray for y'all on my Just Such Day podcast. So I'm about to be praying for y'all and stuff again. But like, just look at your own calling, believers. Not many of you were considered wise. I wasn't considered wise. My family, like I told you, was like, please, like whatever. The ones you think they support you, they don't. Okay, they don't look at you. They look at you like you was nothing. I remember somebody told me one time, oh my God, like, I can't believe this is you. Like, can I get a picture with you? They were so happy. I know your family's so excited. And I'm just like, about what? Like, no, they don't look at you like that. You Ronica. You know what I'm saying? They ain't looking at all like that, but just look. A lot of people don't think you darling wise neither. And they be right the ones in your family. They be the ones that be hating. Yeah, like, I don't know what she did. I remember somebody said that on the Satterfield side. You don't know what she did to do that. I said, follow Christ. That's what I did. I gave myself to Christ. That's why y'all gonna do this whole, this whole thing. But look, just look at your own calling, believers. Okay, please. Not many of you are considered wise according to human standards. Not many powerful or influential. Like, you was like nobody. Okay, not many of high or noble birth. You wasn't like nothing. Like, you wasn't even up there. Like, you come from, something that somebody would think would be less than. Yeah, he's telling you, like, come on, look at your own calling. But God, has selected, for his purpose, the foolish things of the world, to shame the wise. Yeah, because they called you foolish, they're foolish talk too. Peep game. Their foolishness. To shame the wise. Like, I don't believe in that. I don't know if that's real. This and that. She's talking this and that and all of that. Okay, let me shame the wise. Podcast. Over 8 million. 200 countries. You don't even got to do nothing. I'm going to take care of that. Yeah, just because you fasted. Not like works. Because the Bible teaches us that you can't just be like, I'm going to do this and God going to bless me. But his favor is put on your life when you make his name great. When you're doing it for him, he knows your heart. Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's go back to the scripture. I'm over here teaching. Okay. Look, to shame the wise, revealing their ignorance. Yeah, he likes to reveal their ignorance. Yeah. And God has selected for his purpose. You got to remember, it's his purpose. He selected you. Okay, for his purpose. He wanted to shame the world. Okay, so what he did was, look, to shame the world, the things which are strong, he likes to reveal their fatality. God has selected for his purpose the insignificant base things of the world. Like you like the insignificant base thing. You're nothing. What I tell y'all before? Come on now. If all of my boyfriend things right now, like really believed that I would be who I was right now, they wouldn't, I don't think boyfriend number 10 would have had all those, girlfriends and, women. Yeah, I don't think that boyfriend number 7, when I wanted to be with him, that he would have been like, no, I just want to have sex with you. I think he would have been like, you know what? No, because in probably another 5 years, I know you're going to be doing your thing. That's how you know who really rocking with you. Shout out to you, boyfriend number 10. Yeah. Y'all got to know how thorough he is. Yeah, because, he know I be telling the truth. So I come on here and I say what I got to say. And, we still friends. Yeah, that's love right there. That's why he the love of my life. He could be like, you know what? Yeah, that did happen. Yeah, I was doing that. Yeah, that's how I was back then. Yeah, that's how I was then. How I was last year. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, he know. But you got to be real thorough to be able to handle that. You understand what I'm saying? Because he likes to use the foolish things, of the world to reveal ignorance and stuff like that. The things that, people think are nothing. That whole boyfriend number 8 trying to tell me I ain't never going to find nobody better than him. What would that be? Huh? What would that be right there? The insignificant things, the base things of the world, right? And the things that are despised and treated with contempt. Even the things that are nothing. So he might reduce to nothing the things that are. When he told me I was never going to find nobody better than him, he tried to reduce me to nothing. When he said I would kill your dog, he tried to reduce me to nothing. When he had, said, I make sure you won't have your job. He tried to reduce me to nothing. But God, right? He likes to use the foolish things to shame the wise. You understand what I'm saying? Revealing that ignorance and all that. So we going to have to fast, baby. Because he the same one that just 70-something of my stuff. Years later. You know what I mean? You got to guard your heart, when people issues be flowing out. You understand what I'm saying? You really got to learn how to guard your heart because your issues be flowing out. Do you really understand what I'm saying? Because I could let my issues flow out. Words. Okay? I really could. Yeah, I could if I wanted to. Oh, you over here, you over here. You like my booty butt cheek? Okay. I could let my issue flow out. But I gave God my life, man. And I love it, That's why y'all can Google. Yeah, that's the close. Oh, I'm so happy I could close. Just when I always think that it's short, God, give me something else. Let me see. Make sure real quick before I start saying I Google. Okay, I told you about my body. I didn't even know it was like that. So I was really feeling on it. I'm about to make this cheese pizza. Yeah, I'm going to make a Love Beast kitchen. I told y'all about that. I told y'all the last episode. Oh, I didn't really talk to y'all about boyfriend number 9. But we don't really got to talk about him like that. Not yet. Because he's coming out. Yeah, boyfriend number 6. I told y'all about the car. God told me to tell you about that. How I was wild out. Yeah. How I used to be making him do stuff. I told you about the chicks, If I be like this guy, every time God brings it to me, I be like, yo, what is up with these women? God be like, look, you got to understand this relationship that you have with boyfriend number 10. You got to be talking about it and stuff. So you really have to understand, yo, this is how this was. And I'm like, because when you in it, you don't really understand it until God really bring it to you. That, you had your heart that's deceitful above all things, choosing things for you. Okay? My thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Like, you was thinking stuff and it was coming out. You was like, and God like, you better go ahead and you better go tell him, girl, you better look at these abs. You see that body. You see how I healed you. Your edges came back. Wait till y'all get that. Yeah, how my edges came back. Yeah, that's real thorough and wise. Yeah, he like, they got to do this whole fast thing. So I think I told you everything. I told you about them. I told you I compare myself. I'm different. Some of y'all are different. When you're different, you make an impact on people's life. You know a little bit more about boyfriend number 10 because y'all just love him. Y'all be like, what is going on? Boyfriend number 10, that's it. That's how I say so. It's crazy. And y'all been Googling my boyfriend thing. Y'all got me out there. It actually says it. She's famous for her boyfriend thing series. Yeah, she's well known for that. I'm so glad y'all really like that. Yeah, because it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't out here lying to y'all. I'm not making none of this up. Everything that I tell y'all is happening. Y'all just ain't had nobody tell y'all it. Yeah, it's like Bernie Mac, the comedian. He will come on and say it like it is. God said, you will really do real good, Ronica, when you start worrying about what everybody else think about you and you go ahead and you just put out there in pieces like I tell you. So I just be doing what he said. I said, God, this is what I told him. What is this going to be called? I said, God, what is, I don't even know. And he said, Ronica, you just going to go in there and talk to him. Guard your heart. He said, you going to tell him what I tell you? I said, but don't I got to do this and all that? And because I said, I was going to write it down, because the boyfriend had came over. And this one guy said, whatever I tell you to say, you're just going to say it, right? What's the prayer? You always pray, none of me, all of you. You put it out there in pieces for him. You tell him about the ad. You tell him about the Bible study. You tell him about the fast. Okay, you tell them the fast is going to come. When you put that out there, you're going to put it out. You're going to let them know it's going to be everywhere. Okay, about the fast. Okay, you're going to say, okay, this is when we fasting. Okay, this is when it starts. Boom. Okay, here we go. I might do another one. I might do a little vocal thing, put it out there for y'all. So y'all like, oh my God, it's it. You tell them about the millions. Thank you. You tell them Valentine's Day is coming. The Love Day, the Love Doctor series. You tell them all of that. You tell them about the Bible, the scripture. You even tell them what Bible to get. Let me look at this body real quick. I go. You can Google. Yo. For somebody who had 3 children, stomach surgery, 30 staples in her stomach, almost died. Like, I'm trying to tell you something. Y'all got to do what God said. Because I'm telling you, I only deal with these exercises he be telling me to. God be showing me. You be that. No, and I'm telling you, I just want to give a shout out to all of my believers who really have a relationship with God. You have to watch Devo Energy. Like Pastor Mike Jr., that's my pastor, okay? Look it up. PMJ, Pastor Mike Jr., he's also a gospel singer, okay? They have a thing that I used to do, but now I do Sundays, okay? It's called Devo Energy. I be in there in the chat, but I'm not doing it like I was doing it last year. This is when I first had started. I'm original Dendala. When last year, what was 2 years ago? Whenever Devo started. Child, look, we the 12 team is old team. Okay. But anyway, we putting, they be putting it out there. They be like, God told me this. God told me that. What God? Each one of them got to talk about what happened with the sermon. Okay, that the pastor preached, and they gotta be telling their own business. I remember the Lord had told me one time, and I didn't listen to him, and they be on there talking. So y'all know that when I be talking to y'all, those of y'all who have a relationship with God, shout out to y'all. Yeah, because you actually really know. He be talking to me just like this. Like, he be telling me I got a girlfriend thing, and the Lord been telling me, like, I just put this post out there. This is how we gonna close it. Okay, I don't put these things on my page. So if you've seen it in my story, then you know. It's this guy. I did share it, okay? I shared it on, my name is RONI76 on Instagram, baby. That's what I tell y'all on the Just a Touch of J podcast. But this ain't the podcast. This is Just a Touch of J's vocals, baby. Yeah. He was out there talking, and he was like this, listen, I already know about what I'm going to be dating when I go on my first date. If we going on a first date, I already know what I'm going to be doing. We going to church. I'm taking you to church. We sitting on the front row. That's what he said. He said, we're not sitting on the side. He was like, yeah, we're going to sit there. Yeah, he was like, He's like, and if you want me to read you some poetry, I'm going to read you some poetry from Psalms. That's what he said. He's like, yes, I'm going to read you some poetry from Psalms. He was talking about it. He was just talking about like what he wanted, how he wanted a girl that's going to be praying for him. He said somebody had the nerve to say, all you do is talk about God. This is what he said. I mean, why don't you? Why don't you want to talk about the love of Jesus? Yeah. Why don't you want to talk about the way he used the foolish things to shame the wise and how you got to guard your heart? Why you want to get good and deep in this word? What's wrong with you? Why you don't want to? Why you don't want God to change your life? I mean, I'll be putting it out there in pieces for you, baby. You already see podcasts in the millions. You can Google. Yeah, they'll go to close. Just a touch of J. Yeah, really. Okay, so look, I got going over here real quick. I'm trying to skate on over to the left. I told you, y'all know, I don't like talking. It seemed like it. And God always tell me, he be like, Ronica, I swear, it's just like when you go to church. Okay? When you go to church, the pastors, they be up there talking. You know, Keon Henderson, shout out to you. He my other pastor. Shout out to you, Keon. He just likes something over there on TikTok. Yeah, on TikTok. I mean, look, he got to put it out there in pieces for y'all, okay? Because y'all over there doing that ticking and that talking, baby. That's what I do, too. You know what I mean? But he just like one of my little things, a little comment I put out there. Shout out to you, Kay. I see you out there doing your thing. He's married to Shawnee Henderson. Used to be Shawnee O'Neal. You know, Shaquille O'Neal's, ex-wife. Yeah, he's married to her now. Yeah, go ahead, Pastor. I'll be seeing y'all, Shawnee. I've been seeing you doing your little thing and showing your face and everything. Yo, shout out to y'all. Y'all out there doing y'all thing because we be listening. Yeah, y'all doing y'all thing. But anyway, yeah, he was talking about stuff too. Like Keon Henderson, God said, look, he'll talk to you for like the whole 2 hours, child. Hey, you laughing and everything. Sometimes you just got to keep going till I tell you to, Ronica. He's like somebody's salvation could be on the line. Like they be like, is there one? Is there one? And some of y'all, because somebody didn't give up and was out there talking and really didn't like talking, because I really don't like talking. But I do what God tell me to do. He said, you got to tell me this, you got to tell me that. I be like, oh my God, no, why? He said, because why not? I chose you. You are my chosen. Peep game on that. Look, this on my song. This is how thorough I am. Okay, God chose me. Isaiah 43:10. Y'all know I got that song. This is how thorough I am. I say something like, I spent 4 hours at the gym doing 480 ab moves and pull-ups and more. A 4-hour workout. That's what I'm doing. Yes. This is how thorough I am. And then it goes to the next thing, like all of my boyfriend things contacted me this year within the past 6 months, laughing out loud. I must be thorough. Except for the one that died. This is how thorough I am. Then it goes to the next thing. It's just a lot of stuff, But I want y'all to be thorough. I want y'all to be calm. I want y'all to do what it is that you do, And because somebody didn't give up, that's how they got saved. And God has changed your life. Like, look, I don't know what else to tell you. Okay, but you can Google. Yeah, we back there. Yeah, let's get there. Let's get to the Google and stuff. I'll be over here skating to the left and the right and around the corner. Little God be telling me to say, we get here. Okay, here we go. Let's see. We ask, get to these hashtags. Because God, you just got to read them the hashtags. He had me have my stuff straight. He be like, you better put all these in the thing, in the description. I be like, all that? He be like, people like to read. I'm always going back and forth with God. Like, people like to read. Like, no. That's too much. God be like, no, some people don't like to read. Some people do like to read. Don't nobody always want to scan a QR code. Yo, shout out to y'all who out there doing that, but I just am so against that. Like, scam. Do you have a QR code? Somebody said it to me one time. I just looked at them. I was like, why would I ever have that? So when they don't work or something, like, no, you gonna get all these pieces. Yeah. Y'all like, that's right. Give us all the pieces. Because y'all be letting me know. You be like, I see you. Shout out to some people up in Maine. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Let me see. All right, here we go. Let me get ahead. Let me stop playing around. Because I got to end this thing. I can't stand it sometimes. God just be going back and forth with me. He be like, you know what? You got a problem. I know what the problem is. This is the problem. You just don't want to do what I say. Okay, is this it? Oh, God. Is this it, God? Please, let it be it. Like, where is it at? I can't find it. Okay, here we go. God had me do the hashtags over. So I had to do it different in the device. Okay, here we go. Okay. So you can Google. All right, this is Just a Touch of J. Okay, so you can Google Just a Touch of J. Okay, and it's an underscore because he said make sure you tell him it's just JUSTA. Don't make me start singing y'all my name. JUSTA TOUCHOF _ a letter J. Yeah, that's what they call me. That's what I tell them on the podcast. Yeah, they call me Just a Touch of J. Shout out to you, boyfriend number 10. That's what he used to say to me. I was like, yo, what's up? What's going on? He'd be like, I just need just a touch of J. And I would be like, yo, it's so much deep, juicy stuff to this. When it comes to him, he would be like, I just need just a touch of J. And that's why I named the song, All He Needed Just a Touch of J. Ladies, y'all hear that? Yeah. Child, a mess. But anyway, just a touch of J, right? So it's JUSTA TOUCHOF _ right? And then the letter J. So just make sure you always put the underscore after the of between the J and you'll get it. All right. So we got these podcast topics. Okay. That's something you could Google. You could Google Just a Touch of J's podcast, but it's not Just a Touch of J's. It's Just a Touch of J podcast. Okay, there's no S in that. Then Just a Touch of J _ my boyfriend thing. Yeah, my boyfriend thing, child. Y'all love this boyfriend thing. Just a Touch of J's vocals. Okay. Just a Touch of J's radio. Just a Touch of J's feature artists. Yeah, that's the artist. I've been doing a lot of Dave East. Yeah, we about to do Pastor Mike Jr. You know, I just did the whole fasting thing for church. That's why I was chilling. You know, took a small little sabbatical, not really sabbatical, a small little rest, probably like maybe a good month. And now I'm back here putting out the MP for y'all. But yeah, that's Just a Touch of J's feature artist. That's on Just a Touch of J's radio. It's the artist that's featured of the week or the month or whatever song that I'm playing. I do a little something for them, and you'll get that on the Just a Touch of J online app. Online and on the app, okay? Just a Touch of J's quotes, that's going to be out there too. Check that out. Just a Touch of J's prayers. I tell y'all that all the time when I read y'all the prayers. Shout out to everybody that's supporting that. Yeah, like I read y'all the prayers and stuff. And look, it's so dope because you're going to go ahead and reflect on it, you know, with the Just a Touch of J's scriptures. Yeah, I read y'all that. Then you got this too. Just a Touch of J's I heard God say. Yeah, check that out. That's my quotes and stuff where I know I heard God say. Because I got Just a Touch of J's quotes, they minds. And then when God tell me, our son put scripture on it, he put that quote out there. Yeah, that's Just a Touch of J's I heard God say. Ask Just a Touch of J. Yeah, make a Loving V's Kitchen. You know, Ask Just a Touch of J. That's when y'all ask me stuff. Y'all's asking me stuff about women with the whole, when they get the plastic implants and all that type of stuff. And they be getting these butt shots and sticking these needles in them and doing that lip injection and, you know, and getting body augmentations and stuck out here and sculpting this. And I've been seeing this lately, the red light mask thing. Y'all like that ticking and that talking. Yeah, y'all like doing it. Yeah, and y'all be going to these spas and stuff, and these spas and stuff, you shooting these IVs and all this crazy stuff up in your B12s and all this type of shots, and don't even know what's up in the cocktail concoction. Just y'all be doing all that type of stuff, just trying to get you straight. You better get yourself together with Christ. Yeah, like, look. Okay, Just a Touch of the J. That's the cannabis papers. Yeah, because all you need is Just a Touch of the J, baby. Yeah, Just a Touch of J's cannabis with a K. Just a Touch of J's fitness. Just a Touch of J's the 400. Just a Touch of J's MTPs. My version of the Mike Tyson push-ups. Just a Touch of J's fit. Slim, thick, J's fit. Yeah. That's one of them things boyfriend number 10 was over there liking on TikTok. Yeah, the booty butt cheeks. I had, you know, one of them little thong things on. Check that out. Booty butt cheeks looking straight. Jay's Fit. That's part of Jay's Fit collection. And then Tell It Fit. Yeah, Tell It Fit. It's a spin on it. Remember I told you? Tell It means like closing the salvation, you know, of God. And, you know, Tell It Fit because it's Tell It Fit to you. Okay, to the men, it's like how I like to see my men, you know. Then we got Jay's Fit Tip. Jay's Fit Tips. Okay, Just a Touch of Jay's undies. Just a touch of Jay's, just a touch of Jay's this tea and this tea with a D. Just a touch of Jay's car dimes. Just a touch of Jay's fitness app. Just a touch of Jay's the 45. And then we got Just a Touch of Jay's this Sunday word. And all you need is just a touch of the J. Do you get that? You can really look all that up. Shoot, just saying it is enough for me. I'm like, God, it's all that. God, like, yeah, that's what happened through the years when you do what I tell you to do. You have all those things. Okay? So anyway, look, you could Google that, okay? But what I tell you, after I done talked to you all this time, because you know, I'm like, here's the time. Like, God, I thought you said he was going to get less. Okay. That's what it is. That's what he said. He said, Ronica, listen, you could talk to him for 20 minutes. You could talk to him for 2 hours. You could do multiple series and be a whole 6 hours. You could do whatever it is I tell you to do, baby. But you know what, though? What do I tell you all the time before you even go on out here? And I tell you what you got to say to him. He telling me, say, Ronica, listen, this is what you about to go out there. You about to talk to him. You're going to put out there in pieces. This is what you going to say. Okay? And I go, can I say this? He be like, no, you can't say that. And I be like, you know, he be like, you okay? You know, okay, these are the boyfriends. You got to protect people's identities and certain stuff. You could say this, you know, but you can't say that. You know, this could come back, you know, Netflix, days. You got to think about this type of stuff. You know, you're doing it just to touch Jay's story, you know. You know, he be telling me, you know, so I go, okay. He said, but, you know, you can't make nobody believe God. You know that, right? I said, yeah. He said, you know, you can't make them, baby. You could tell him anything that I tell you to tell him. It could be really a word for me. He said, you could read him the scriptures. You could tell him how I blessed you, baby. You could tell him how I healed you. You could tell him how your edges came back. You could tell him about your breasts and your abs and, you know, how you didn't believe in yourself, how you almost died 5 times in 4 years. You could tell him about all type of stuff. Yeah, you could tell him how you had a whole sex addiction. You could really tell him the truth to try to like help him out in life. You know, you could tell him about all these real things that really happened to you, about how people used to be calling you up looking for other people. You know what I'm saying? You could talk to him and tell him what I said about how when you do stuff like that, how you real lost, them type of women, and how you different from them. You could tell people how boyfriend number 10 still love you, how people love you, and how you love him, and how he love your life, and y'all always gonna love each other. You could tell, Ronica, you could tell him how boyfriend number 4 try to set your house on fire. How boyfriend number 6 is underneath the bed. Like, you could tell him the truth. Yeah. But you know you can't make nobody believe God. Yeah. Even what you saying right now, thanks for the millions. Some people still don't want to believe. He said, but you know what you can do? He said, you can tell him, this is just a touch of Jay's vocals. This ain't the podcast. But you can Google. Yeah, this is the close, y'all. This is the close. Finally, I can go ahead and make this pizza. This is the pizza. Yo, I've been eating pizza. Yo, tallow fries. Oh my God, with cheese on it. And ground beef. And I've been over here listening. And I know little boyfriend would say, he like, my baby out there eating fries. Yo, I love fries. Anything. I used to be like, yo, bring me anything. Just please, can you bring me some potato chips and some French fries? Yo, he'll be bringing me French fries like that. Matter of fact, last time I talked to him, before the Just Such a J tour, he was eating French fries. That's what made me start trying potatoes. And now I could eat fries and everything. I've been tearing up some potatoes. And I've been making omelets for y'all. Y'all know I got omelets every day because this is Just a Touch of J. Yeah, I'm coming back to making Love Beats Kitchen with egg dishes and stuff. Pizza, all type of stuff. Oh my gosh. Not the seafood yet, but all this stuff. Shout out to my histamine community. Yeah, the histamine intolerance community. The CSID. Okay. And my oxalate issues. Shout out to y'all. I've been putting stuff in the thing out there for y'all on Facebook. Y'all know all about the cannabis stuff. We talked about that. But just, you know, God just like, you know, Ronica, you could do all that. You know what I'm saying? That you know you can't make nobody believe God, but you could tell them, yeah. You could tell them, baby. You could tell them to Google. Yeah, y'all, you can Google. Yeah, it's crazy that I can actually really say that. Yeah, God really likes to use the foolish things of the world, yo, to shame the wise. Yeah, he really he'll take somebody who's all messed up, addicted to sex, out here messing with women, out here treating women bad. Yo, and have him get in a relationship with someone who's out here with a lot of women. Yo, and have him, I'm out here telling people I want to see you with her. You know what I'm saying? And he got a lot of hers. All type of stuff. Yo, he telling me stuff I told boyfriend number 7, I don't want to go to church. You always want to talk about God. Ugh. And that's how he was with me. Why you always want to talk about God? No. But yet, he told me, you going to have me at church one day on a Christmas early Sunday morning. Whole Muslim dude. He said, I already know it. One day. You know what I'm saying? One day, y'all got to go out your heart. Yeah. And it's crazy I could say that. You can Google. Yeah. Yeah, I like it when I do it like that. You can Google just a touch of J.